Ahoy VC, welcome to the Personal Oasis. This is the Blind Island, and today we're going to be continuing on in the countdown of top 100 favorite albums. Again, this is favorite, not necessarily what I think is the most artistic or the greatest necessarily, just what I love. And if you have anything that you want to talk about, discuss, let me know in the comments below. So let's continue on with the countdown. At number 30, I have John Coltrane and Johnny Hartman's self-titled album from 1963. This record is just absolute, undiluted romantic bliss. John Coltrane was approached by Bob Thiel, the head of Impulse at the time, and was asked if he would be willing to record with vocalists. And the only vocalist he would be willing to record with was Johnny Hartman, who was a relative unknown at the time. Even though he had come out with a few records before, he mostly just played in nightclubs. He hadn't come out with a record in years. And when Johnny Hartman heard about it, he didn't know if he would be a very good fit. But when they met each other and did a practice run at the club, they decided they were perfect. And they had a set list that they were going to play, but Johnny Hartman, on the way to the recording studio, heard on the radio Lush Life by Nat King Cole and decided that they were going to record that song. And thank God they did, because it is literally a musical gift. This whole record is an absolute gem. One of the most romantic and beautiful male vocal jazz albums of all time, and Coltrane's sax has never sounded softer, sweeter, or more gentle. And just everyone is playing at the highest possible level. Elvin Jones is perfect on the drums, just quietly brushing the sides of his skins, and McCoy Tyner's playing is full of rich empathy and pathos, and Jimmy Garrison is just hitting the mark with that bass the entire time. Everyone is playing at the highest level on this record, and if you're looking for the perfect dinner time album, this is the record to play. At number 29, I have Can's Ege Bamyasi. Now, everyone has their personal favorite from this group. If you're not familiar with Can, which if you're in the vinyl community and you're not familiar with Can, you gotta jump on this. It is just really trippy, experimental, spacey krautrock. It will rip your head off. Every single track on here sounds like it was plucked from 1,000 years in the future and placed into 1972, in which it was recorded. I can't get over this album. It's equal parts funky, equal parts hooky, and also avant-garde, artsy. It's really out there stuff. I can't believe that these guys are still kind of a sleeper. They should be kind of one of those groups that should be getting a reissue every single year at Record Store Day, and everyone should know, oh yeah, the song Spoon is phenomenal, and the band Spoon actually took their name from that track, which is out of this world, killer. One of the first uses of a drum machine in a song, and yet they took the drum machine and still used actual drums, which I think is the best way. They took the modern technology, but also added old school tactics to it, which I think a lot of artists could learn from today to keep pushing our medium forward. Phenomenal record, totally out there, and one that is highly, highly recommended. At number 28, I have Frank Zappa's Hot Rats. I understand that Zappa kind of has this, sort of reputation. You either like Zappa or you don't. But With this, I think that he cuts the difference. He doesn't have some of his more gonzo, out there lyricism, pastiche, and parody. It's all about the music. And wow, what amazing music is found within. It's absolutely glittering arpeggios throughout. It's cascading throughout completely different types of instruments. He is able to blend the elements of jazz and rock so beautifully on this album that it totally paved the way for people to be into like projects like Bitches Brew and Mahavishnu Orchestra. This is where literally the cornerstone kind of began. If this hadn't come out, I probably never would have gotten into those sort of things. And because of that, I'll forever be grateful to this record. And sometimes I forget just how beautiful it is, and I put it on the other day, and as soon as those notes for the very first track come on, it just absolutely takes me away. It leaves me breathless. Wonderful playing, wonderful composition, and truly Frank Zappa's finest album. At number 27, I have Curtis Mayfield's soundtrack to Superfly. How does one make an album that is so totally socially conscious, yet funky, groovy, gritty, and altogether lovable at the same time? Curtis Mayfield was a genius, an absolute wizard of R&B, soul, and funk. This man, literally in the early 70s, could do no wrong. Coming off of the great success of his self-titled debut, he came out with this record, which far surpasses the film and transcends into the highest echelons of future R&B and hip-hop, honestly. He sets the groundwork for what people were about to do for years and years and years. This man, as soon as that organ starts grinding away on the first track of Little Child Runnin' Wild, you know you're in for something special. And then the strings come in and hook you even further. He is playing on the next level here. The production value on this album is truly high level, just a master of his craft. I am blown away every single time I listen to this. Pusher Man, Ain't Got No Thing on Me. Every single song on here is a total winner, and it makes you altogether sad, happy, winsome, and just engaged. It engages you throughout. So if you've ever been kind of put off by maybe the garish cover, or it looks slightly dated, don't be, because you are missing out on one of the greatest albums of the 1970s. And at number 26, I have Neil Young's On the Beach. This record right here is Neil Young's finest hour. Come at me. He is on top of his game. The first side is everything that you love about classic rock Neil Young. It starts off the album with the just really easy loping song Walk On, which captures everything that was wonderful about albums like Harvest, After the Gold Rush. The whole first side is like that. But the entire time there's this spirit of just deep dejection. The album cover completely matches the music that's found within, because it is like this sunny exterior, but there's something off. Something is wrong, deeply wrong with this picture. There's something buried underneath the surface, and that is exactly what this music is speaking to me. That Neil Young is in a very dark place, and he's going to share it with you. And the first side of this album is all about just tearing down the system, tearing down the structure of this Laurel Canyon hippy-dippy crap, and just moving on from it. Time to start new. And then the second side is almost the morning of it. It's like you go from the anger to the mourning. And the 3-song suite that is on side 2 may be some of the most affecting acoustic music I've ever heard in my entire life. You go from On the Beach to Motion Pictures to Ambulance Blues. It is truly heart-wrenching. And when he sings that you're all just pissing in the wind, it's like literally taking that idea that Bob Dylan had of blowing in the wind, the truth is blowing in the wind, that these songs, everybody just singing to each other about how they can fix the world, sometimes it just feels like we're not just blowing in the wind, we're literally just pissing right into the wind and getting it right back into us. That it's all just crap. And it's heartbreaking and depressing, but just by gall, if it isn't truly one of the most affecting records I've ever listened to. And if you haven't given it a shot, I highly recommend you do. So guys, what did you think of the picks in this segment? Were there some that you knew, some you disagree with? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, guys, I hope that you have a great day on your own personal oasis. Be blessed.